Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are here to do my August MBR. Before we get into that though, I did just want to mention very quickly the picks for Cliterature Book Club for the next 3 months. I haven't had a chance to do a full video for it, so I thought I would just mention it very quickly here before we go into the rest of the video. So July's book, I know we're coming towards the end of July. Don't with me, it is what it is. July's book is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I have decided to go down a thrillerish route with the next 3 books for Cliterature Book Club. I think the following book after that will be a thrillerish one as well. I'm intrigued to see how this is going to go, but I believe that this is like a smutty thriller type book. So I believe this does follow our main character, who is an author, and she gets invited to this writing retreat where her, you know, like idol is hosting the retreat, but once she gets there things are not as they seem and it all becomes a little bit weird. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So this is July's pick. Then for August we do have Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. I know absolutely nothing about this one and I'm really intrigued to give it a read. I know that it's doing the rounds on TikTok at the moment, but I know it's been out for a while, The Edens. I believe it's like a 6-book series so far, and I think there's been a recent one released in this series as well, so I'm really looking forward to this one as well. And then for September we do have The Drowned Girls by Lorith Ann White. This was neck and neck with another book which I think I'm going to pick for October's pick even. Again, I don't know anything about this one, but on the back it says, on the hunt for a serial killer, a troubled detective confronts the secrets of her past. And I'm really excited about it. We have had like a darkish serial killer book for Cliterature Book Club before with the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey, and I enjoyed that series. Not quite smutty, but it was great and I did have a good time with it, so I am looking forward to this one as well. So I have heard that all of these thrillers do have a smutty element to them, and while I was doing some research on this as well, did you know that there's such a genre as erotic thriller? Because I did not, and I am very happy to have found that out. So those are the 3 books for Cliterature Book Club for the next 3 months, July, August and September. I will try and be a bit more organised with the next, well, with the last ones for the end of the year, to let you know in advance what they're going to be and be able to do a separate video for them, but I just wanted to give you that rundown very, very quickly. Then in August, I am hosting another round of Final Book Support Group and I'm really, really excited. It is a week long from the 7th to the 13th of August and I'm looking forward to it. There are lots of prompts. So that is the readathon I'm taking part in August. I think it's the only one I am taking part in. And we will go through the prompts in a minute, but something I did forget to do last month was my Patreon part. I only remembered once I'd edited the video and I couldn't be bothered to go back and film the clip and try and cut it in, so I just didn't bother. We are only going to pull one out this time, but I am running a little bit low, so I'm gonna have to have a quick word with my patrons and let them know, and see if I can get some more ready for next month. But without further ado, let's dive in. I am terrified because Empire of the Vampire is still in here and part of me is like, maybe I should pull it out and get it out of the way. I don't know what to do. Obviously I don't have much choice in the matter, it's just whatever I pull, but let's go for this one. Okay, we got Bloody Rose from Claire, which, if I remember correctly, we are in my new library, by the way. I'm only giving you ever so slight sneak peeks in this corner. There's some videos coming out very, very soon of a renovations vlog and then also an organisation video, so I don't want to show too much, but you're getting sneak peeks. You're welcome. So we do have Bloody Rose by Nicholas Ames from Claire. I was thinking about putting this on my TBR anyway for this month because it is a final book, but decided not to because I knew it was in the Patreon pot. So thanks Claire for that, but this is a very chunky book. It is the follow-up to Kings of the Wild, and in that book we are following a bunch of mercenaries who have retired, and the main character basically ends up trying to get the band back together because his daughter Rose is in trouble. I think in this one we are following her, so I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. It says, live fast, die young. Tam Hashford is tired of working at her local pubs, slinging drinks for world famous mercenaries and listening to the bards sing of adventures and glory in a world beyond her sleepy hometown. When the biggest mercenary band of all rolls into town, led by the infamous Bloody Rose, Tam jumps at the chance to sign on as their bard. It's adventure she wants and adventure she gets as the crew embarks on a quest that will end in one of two ways, glory or death. It's time to take a walk on the wild side. Alright, fair enough. So we're following Tam, and Rose, who was being saved in the first book, is obviously running the band of mercenaries. So yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. Thanks Claire for putting this on my TBR. I wasn't too excited about reading this one just yet, to be honest. I wouldn't have minded if Empire of the Vampire had come out right now, because I feel like getting that out in August would be great, because as spooky season rolls up, I'm not going to want to pick that up, and then the end of the year is going to come around and I still won't have picked the book up. So I think I might have to maybe trump the pot next month and try and pick it up for then, or I just try and pick it up regardless over the next couple of months. I don't know, but Bloody Rose is the first book going on, and that will fit into Final Book Support Group, which is exciting. So let's get into the rest of it. So the prompts for Final Book Support Group, there are 5. We do have a final book, we've got continuous series, we have a spinner wheel, which I'm going to do with you in a minute, we've got a vet sequel, longest series, borrow a book, and then most anticipated. So some of these I am going to combine, because obviously now I've got that bloody chunky book on here. Some of them I am going to combine, and I will tell you all about that once we've got the books together. First of all, I do want to do the spinner wheel. So we do have The Finish Line by Kate Stewart, which is the final in that series. We've got the final Starfell book. We have Blood Marked by Tracy Dion, which is the final in that duology. The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin, which is the final in that duology. A Queen of Gilded Horns, the final in that duology. Logan Foster, which will be a continuation station, because I think there's another one coming out, but it's the second one in that series. Adventures on Trains, I want to get to the 3rd one in that series. It will again be a continuation station, but I would like to get to it. And then I have put Murderbot on here, which if that ends up coming up, I'm going to try and get to both Fugitive Telemetry, which is the final novella, and then Network Effect, which is the full-length novel that's come out. I'm aware that there is another novel coming out very, very soon by Martha Wells for the Murderbot series, so I would like to be up to date for when that comes out. So we do have all of those on this spinner wheel, and let's give it a spin. Lovely advert. A Queen of Gilded Horns. Okay. Looks like that's what I'm picking up. Let me go and get that. I mean, it's about time, let's face it. It's been ages since I read A River of Royal Blood. This is the sequel to A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. I absolutely love that book, and I think it's very, very underrated. And maybe that's the reason why I just haven't been reaching for this one. I don't know. Or maybe it's just that I don't think it will be as good as the first one. I'm not sure, but I'm really looking forward to this one. In this series, we are following 2 sisters who are essentially pitted against each other for the throne, and they have different types of magic. So the sister that we are following is trained by her dad, if I remember correctly, and then her sister is trained by her mother, and it's very brutal. It is literally a fight to the death for the throne. But I just really, really loved it. It's very dark and bloody, but I just really, really enjoyed it. So I'm intrigued to find out what happens in the rest of this one, and what happens to the girls as well. I might need to try and find a recap for the first one, because it's been a long time since I read the first one. But yeah, that is going on my TBR. So the other books now, including Bloody Rose, I do have 5 books, because I've got one that I'm borrowing as well from Scribd that I don't physically own. So we do have Bloody Rose, which is a final book. It is also a vet, to be honest, because it's one of the oldest series on my TBR. It's not quite the oldest because I did a quick check on Goodreads last night, but it's one of the oldest on my TBR. So we've got Bloody Rose, which I am going to be reading, and then for continuous series and longest series, I do have Witch Hat Talia Volume 4. This will continue this series on. I wanted to get some shorter reads on and get a manga on here. It will continue the series on, but right now there are 10 volumes in this series, and it is the longest series that I'm currently in the middle of right now, including like Zodiac Academy and everything. It's the longest series I currently have going on, so which is great news because I wanted something shorter. So Witch Hat Talia is going on here for longest series and also continuation station. This follows a young girl who in the first one she really wants to be a witch, and she ends up wishing for it and wishing for it and wishing for it. Something happens at home. She ends up under the care of an actual witch, and he is currently training other girls the same age as Coco, and he ends up training her to try and become a witch, and it's just really adorable, and I have a great time with this. So excited to continue on with that series. Then we did just do the spinner wheel, so we do have A Queen of Gilded Horns for this one by Amanda Joy, which I've just been telling you about. This also counts for final book, so that is going on the TBR as well. And then I also have This Coven Won't Break by Isabel Sterling. This is actually my oldest sequel on my TBR. No joke. It's been 2019, June 2019, I read the first one in this series, which was called These Witches Won't Burn. And I really loved it, and I don't know why I've been holding out on finishing the series off, but I have. This follows a group of witches. It follows a witch coven, and in the first one we're following a girl, Hannah, I think, yeah, Hannah Walsh. She goes to a new high school. She ends up making some friends but also some enemies. She ends up falling in love with this girl. It is queer, and then towards the end of the book she's kind of hunted. Her coven is hunted down, and then in this one I'm not sure what happens next, but we continue on, I think, and find out what happens next. Again, might need to read a recap of These Witches Don't Burn, but yeah, that is the other one. And then the final one that I am planning on reading is Their Vicious Darling, which is, I'll show a picture of it here. It's the third in the Vicious Lost Boys series, I think it's called. It's Peter Pan retelling essentially, and we're following Wendy, who ends up finding herself kidnapped by Peter and taken to this island. It's very smutty. There is a lot of sexy times going on in this series. I enjoyed the first one. I gave it 4 stars. I think I gave the second one 3. I think this series lends itself very well to being read back to back. They're quite short, but I think it lends itself very well to being read back to back. So I may, if I've got time, try and read the final one in the series as well. There's 4 in the series so far, if I remember correctly. So I might try and read the final one as well if I've got time to do so, but otherwise I'm definitely reading the third one. So again, continuation station. And then the only one that I haven't managed to achieve so far is Most Anticipated. So I don't know what I would pick for that. If maybe what I just do is pick out of the 5 that I've actually put on my TBR and just pick Most Anticipated out of them. I'm not sure. It would probably be, I am incredibly anticipating this, but I'm also terrified it's going to let it down. Probably Witch Hat Talia, I'm not going to lie. So we do have these 4 plus Their Vicious Darling, I forgot the name of the book then, plus Their Vicious Darling for final book support group. So that is just for 1 week readathon. I don't know who the fuck I think I am, but apparently that's gonna happen. So yeah, and then for the rest of the month, my MBR is looking, I don't know, not too long, I would say. I do have some required reads. So for a vlog that I'm currently doing in which Gavin recommends me some manga, it will be going up mid-August, I think, early to mid-August, and I have already started. So some of the ones that I do still have left, I will have some more left other than this, but I'm just showing you a couple now because, you know, want you to be excited about the video. I do have One Piece. This is the omnibus of volumes 1, 2 and 3, so I will be reading One Piece. I've also got Dick Fight Island Volume 1 because obviously, and then Given Volume 1 as well. So I will be reading those in that vlog. So they are definites as well, not just maybes. And then another definite is The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. This is my Patreon buddy read for the months of July and August. So I do need to get to this one in August. I know nothing about this. It looks like it's set at a university. The Chosen One. Barrington University is home of the Lords, a secret society that requires their blood in payment. They are, above all, the most powerful in the world. They devote their life to violence in exchange for power, and their senior year they are offered a chosen one. I vow, you vow, we vow. People think growing up with money is freeing, but I promise you it's not. My entire life has been planned out for me. I never got the chance to do what I wanted until Alexander Archer came along and gave me an option for a better life. He offered me what no one else ever had, freedom. I choose to be his. That's what he made me believe anyway, but it was just another lie. The way that the Lords manipulate you into doing what they want. After being sucked into the dark, twisted world of the Lords, I embraced my new role and allowed Wright to parade me around like the trophy I was to him. But like all things, what started out as a game soon became a fight for survival, and the only way out was death. Interesting. I believe this is a series and I'm very intrigued by it. Also, these chapters, the headings, oh my god, so beautiful. Terrifying but beautiful. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is my Patreon buddy read, and I am hoping to do a spoiler vlog for them, for my patrons. So I'm looking forward to that one. So that is my only other required read. And then a couple of books. I don't have much on here, to be honest, that I'm thinking about reading. I think I'm definitely outside a final book support group and the required reads. I'm definitely going to be, oh no, I lied. The other required read I have is The Writing Retreat, obviously, by Julia Bartz. I haven't read this yet in July, and it is July's Cliterature book club pick, so I am going to read it at the beginning of August before we have the live show. I like to read these as late as I possibly can so that I remember what happened and I can discuss it properly without having to sit around and make notes all the time. So Indigo Ridge, which will be August's pick, I'll probably read at the beginning of September. It is what it is. So yeah, The Writing Retreat I will also be reading, which I've already mentioned the synopsis of. That's my other required read. So outside of those, I don't have much else that I'm kind of like 100% on. I just have a couple here that I'm keen on getting to. So I'm going to mention those, and then the rest will just be mood reading, I suppose. There is the, I am hoping to get to my most anticipated reads video as well towards the end of August, so I do need to start thinking about that one as well. But I've decided that I want to do it as, again, like a spinner wheel. I have so many anticipated reads that I want to get to, I can't do them all, so I'm thinking of putting them all on a spinner wheel and doing that. But the likes of Happy Place by Emily Henry is on there. The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian D. Castell is on there. I have The Only Ones Left by Riley Sager that I would like to put on there. There is a lot that I would like to put on there, so I'm just going to do that as a spinner wheel, I think, but didn't see the point in 100% mentioning what those books are going to be because I don't know what's going to come up. So again, you'll have to watch the vlog to find out. So yeah, one of the maybe read, in fact there's a pretty good chance I am going to read this one because I'm buddy reading it with Gav. He did ask if I wanted to be part of his Agatha Christie, it's Agatha versus Slagatha or something, you know, his series where he does it like a trip and he tries to solve the crime before he finishes his trip. He asked me to get involved in that, but August is such a busy month for me personally. Like, the house is still a mess. This room is now almost done except for the office side of things, but I now need to start work in the next room. It's my mum's 60th. I've got final book support group. I've then got the F1 readathon with patrons as well, and it's just I didn't have a weekend free to be able to sit down and do it with him, and I'm heartbroken about it. But I have said to him that I will still buddy read the book with him because we always had plans to buddy read this book together, and it is The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. So I will be reading this one with Gavin. It is following Poirot on one of the investigations that he does, and I believe that the murders that happen in this are in alphabetical order in places of alphabetical order, if that makes sense. So like someone called Adam Abbott was killed in Anglesey. I don't know if that's the full ins and outs, but I believe that that's what's going on here. I'm not 100% certain on that. Gav will, I've no doubt, correct me on that, but I believe that that's the sort of thing that's going on. Obviously it's a murder mystery. I'm really intrigued about picking this one up. I do want to read more Agatha Christie, and I know Gav's been really enjoying this time reading her books. So that is my own, probably my only other, it's not required reading, but I really do want to get to it. So a definite read, I reckon. And then the only other book then, I suppose, on my MBR is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I started this book for Final Book Support, not Final Book Support Group, that's a lie. I started this book for the F1 Readathon in the month of July, and then very quickly realised that this is not the sort of book you can necessarily just fly through whilst doing other things. I do have the audiobook and I'm really excited about it, but you've got to put some concentration into it, I think. So basically we are following our main character who, everyone in his family has killed someone in one way or another, and there's basically a mystery at the beginning of this book. Some money has turned up and he's wanting to find out whose money it is and how they've ended up with it. And I think there's also a murder as well that we're trying to solve. I'm trying to figure out who in his family has done this murder. So we go through the motions of finding out each character, who they killed and how it happened. So we started off with his brother, and now we're on to his stepsister. And it was at that point, I got 27 pages in, it was at that point that I realised that I actually needed to concentrate on this, because there's going to be so many characters and so many different ways that this can go, that in order for me to feel like I'm trying to solve the mystery as well, I need to concentrate on what's going on. I was playing Monopoly at the same time on the PlayStation, and I very quickly realised that I couldn't do both things, so I swapped it out for Flawless. But I really want to come back to it because I was really enjoying the audiobook and I think it's going to be a great time, so I do want to come back to this one, and I'm already having a good time with it. So this is the only one that's kind of going on my actual MBR. Everything else, obviously I can swap out the Final Book Support Group books if I want to, but kind of also can't because of the prompts and the books that have been picked. But yeah, pretty much everything else is kind of required reading or for a specific log. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know how much other reading I'm going to get done. I do also quickly want to mention I did get back into Zodiac Academy in July. I read Zodiac Academy 3 and then I have gone on to oh, earlier, Dartmoor Penitentiary. That was for a different video. Never mind. I was trying to figure out what the other series was called because I was mentioning that I've got a Zodiac shelf, but there's room on it so that I can get the Dartmoor Penitentiary series, but I can't remember the full name of the series and just said Penitentiary. It's just come back to me. That was unnecessary. I've just become incredibly distracted. Why did that just happen to me? Ruthless Boys. So I've read Zodiac, oh Jesus Christ, I've read Zodiac Academy Volume 3 in the month of July, and I'm currently going to be starting very soon Dark Fae, which is the first one in the Ruthless Boys series. I'm dipping between all of the series because there is a reading order that I've found that a lot of people have said makes sense. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to explain myself any further than that. So I would like to finish Dark Fae before the end of the month, and then I would like to continue on this train because I'm really enjoying myself and I don't want to dip out of the train again because I miss the train. I miss it. When it's gone, I don't like it, so I need to stay on the train. So that would then mean that I would move on to Savage Fae. So that's also a possibility for my MBR. But I didn't mention it too much because I wasn't 100% on that. I've obviously got a lot of other projects going on that I kind of need to focus on, so we'll see. I'll put it on here anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much, let me get all of this stacked together and show you. So this is how we're looking, and I'm a little bit terrified, not gonna lie. There is quite a bit of manga in there and there's quite a few thrillers as well, so I'm happy about that, but there's also quite a few chunky books. So we'll see what I manage in the month of August. Like I say, it is a very busy month. However, Andy is changing his shifts again. He's got a promotion at work, so he's going back onto his continental shifts, in which he has his shifts alter every 2 weeks. So he works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the following week he works Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday. And it actually, I thought Monday to Friday would be better for us, and it's not. His continental shifts work way better, especially for me on my side of work, and we've both figured that out now. So I am really looking forward to, I'm really proud of him, obviously, but I'm really looking forward to him going back on that shift. So it's going to help us out a lot, I think. I'm going to get a lot more time at home, but also I'm going to get a lot more weekend time at home as well, which is great news. I know I could always be at home if I wanted to, but whenever he was off on the weekend, because he was working Monday to Friday, 7 till 3, but then he would be knackered when he got home from work and he would just sleep all evening, so I would barely see him in the week. So the weekends I would then try and spend as much time with him as I could. So this means now that every other weekend he's off, every other weekend I get to work. So I'm kind of happy about that, I'm not gonna lie. It gives me more time to get shit done at home and get some work done and get lots of reading done. So I'm really, really excited. I know it seems ridiculous, but you know, these things happen when you get in a relationship. You want to do all the things you need to do for work and to survive, but you also want to spend time with your partner, and that is just, it is what it is. It is what it is. We don't live together yet, so we're not together all the time. So whenever I do get time with him, I will take advantage of that. So yeah, there's no need for that life update, but it is what it is. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. Are you taking part in Final Book Support Group? Let me know in the comments down below. What are you planning on reading? Have you read any of the books that I'm thinking about reading in the month of August? And also, quick reminder that if you wanted to get your hands on some Final Book Support Group merch from Daisy and B, the link will be in the description box down below. Feel free to do so, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.